There we go. Hey, all right. It is the Tuesday night comic book preview stream here at Fantasy Books and Games. I'm Aaron. This is Sam.
Hey, what's up?
And I think we have a first,
We have a
Sam.
first.
Well, actually, it can't be a first, but it's the first maybe in a long time.
I just put two and two together. I'm looking at the top of your stack, and that is not a facsimile of any
There,
kind.
I don't think there are any facsimile reprints coming
my
out tomorrow.
God.
Not that I saw on the wall. It's
Wasn't
possible. Oh my
the
gosh.
Eternals?
No,
that's new.
I do have that in my stack though. We
Okay.
will talk about it, but no, I don't think there's any reprints, not facsimile reprints. There are, however, some second printings
Okay.
of issues, so we'll lead with those.
Sure.
There is a second printing of Tigress Island. This book was moderately popular when it
Yeah.
first came out, and I can't really explain why. I just really like this cover. Have you had a chance? Did you get to read this at all?
No, I haven't. It's in my
So
stack.
it's good.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. We talked about it when the first printing came out. I do recommend it. I'm looking forward to the second issue, but I don't want to repeat myself. So Tigress Island second printing, check it out. I do recommend reading it. Also, a second printing of Murder Drones #1. This was another book. This is a small press publisher. I guess it's by Oni that's putting it out, but it was like a smaller studio that's putting it out.
Is that like an Amazon Prime thing or something?
Yes,
Okay.
it is. I don't. Maybe it was YouTube or Netflix. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't have any of the answers. I just know that somebody that was looking for it was because their daughter liked it because it was like an animated thing, and this is a comic book tie-in to it.
Gotcha.
So we do have a second printing of #1, and then also issue #2 comes out tomorrow. So right there, second printing #1, issue 2. So you can jump right in there. Another collected edition that's coming out tomorrow. I just want to briefly mention G.I. Joe. You know how much I love G.I. Joe.
Mhm.
This Energon series has been really good. This one reprints the Dreadnought War and some other issues, but it's all good stuff. I'm really liking it. Let's see. There's a few other books in my stack, like my regular pulls. I will mention Comics, the magazine, #2. I liked issue #1 of this. This came out last month. Did you? I don't know. Did you flip through it at all?
No.
It kind of like, it's not exactly like reading an old Wizard magazine, but it like scratched that itch just a little bit. Just enough. I think what I said with issue 1 is, and I flipped through issue 2, and so I feel like I wish they were maybe a little bit more substantial,
In
like
terms of articles,
just like more pages, like just
More pages,
more
yeah.
stuff in general. Like I liked that. Like this is an interesting thing where it's a magazine, but it's like the size of a comic book.
Right.
Whereas I kind of wish it was a little beefier, like page count, so that they had more stuff in it. But I can't argue with the price point. It's $2.99, so it's like, and if it's coming out monthly, I haven't even finished reading everything in the first issue from last month.
Oh,
so it's like it's got to be one of those things where I like, on the one hand, I wish it was more substantial, but I know that it's probably exactly enough just to tide you through a month to get to the next issue, and there's never shortage of things to talk about in the comic book industry. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I enjoyed this. This one has the cover feature stories about Battle Beast, which I've been a big fan of that series. I don't think you've read that one, have you?
I read like the first couple of issues.
Okay,
It was pretty cool.
I
liked it.
That's right. It's
and
pretty
you
cool.
Don't need to read Invincible for it.
So, correct. Yeah. Although since the series has started up again, there are some, like, we're getting into more like Invincible territory, but I still feel like you don't need to have read Invincible to get it. But they're more like, if you did read Invincible, it's like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme where you're like, I recognize that,
Yeah.
But anyway, so cool stuff. Some stuff that's in my regular poll that's coming out tomorrow. New issue of Batman #8. I've really been enjoying this series. This might be
so good.
Yeah, have you been reading it?
Yeah.
So this issue has a fill-in artist. The cover is by George Jimenez, but the fill-in artist is Ryan Sook, who is an artist that I really, really like.
Okay.
His work in this issue is a little I don't know, different than some of his like classic stuff. Like I remember reading him like in the 2000s, like he did the X Factor series with Peter David that was really good. But this is solid. It's good looking art, and I like the story in this. It's the pacing of this Batman series has been really, really good, and I do like this is something that I talk about a lot, but I like that each issue feels substantial, like it's its own story.
Yes.
Like there's an ongoing story, but you can just pull a random issue out and just read it and get what's happening and get a full complete story.
Mhm.
And it's like a piece of a larger puzzle, but it's not just like one endless continuing thing. Like each issue still has like a beginning and a middle and an end to it.
It is very episodic.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. And I love me some what I would call traditional comic book storytelling. Some people might call it old fashioned, but it doesn't feel old fashioned in this. I think that's the
No,
key.
it's
That's
fresh,
it's
yeah.
yeah, exactly. This one is really good. It has a nice like. I think the other thing that I'm really enjoying about this Batman series is that there have been many issues that are predominantly just like conversations between two characters, and they're still really good.
Yeah.
Like there's still plenty of action. Like this one, I guess spoiler alert, Alan Scott Green Lantern shows up.
I saw that,
and
yeah.
I like this conversation. They're just in like a diner, and Batman's just sitting there drinking coffee, having a conversation with him. I don't have this on the full camera. There we go. That's what I wanted. There we go. It's a nice scene. You know,
Yeah.
it's and it's good. And then we get some more backstory with Vandal Savage as the commissioner,
Nice.
which
Okay, cool.
I've been wanting because again, it's like the series started and I wasn't sure if I like because I hadn't really been reading Batman up until this point, and I wasn't sure if I had missed something or if this was just like an established status quo that they're going to expand upon
Yeah.
later, and they're kind of getting to that now. So.
He's been commissioner for about like 2 years in the comics.
Oh, has he? Okay.
Like I know that was part of the previous run.
So there you go.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that because I didn't read the previous run.
Mm.
But it's interesting because it feels like, having not read the previous run, it feels like this issue especially really gets into like why exactly is he the police chief?
Good.
You know,
yeah.
other than just like we're gonna shake things up and put a villain in charge, like they do every now and then.
Right.
Like Lex Luthor was president of the United States at one point. You know what I mean? They just, Anyway, I'm loving it. Like it's still really, really good.
It's really solid.
Yeah. New issue of Savage Sword of Conan. I love me some Conan. This back cover is really good too. So this is the front cover here. I'm mostly mentioning this. Everybody knows I love Conan, and I like to show off Conan. But this issue had been delayed by a few weeks. I think it was supposed to come out a few weeks ago, and we're finally getting it. So, and it is as good as every other Savage Sword, as you might expect.
Why did it get delayed?
I don't know. Just probably waiting for the artists. You know how artists are. Yeah. But this has another like classic story, written by Roy Thomas, who he wrote a lot of the '70s Marvel Conan the Barbarian, and I just love the black and white art in these. I've talked about that a lot, but I forgot. I was trying to see who the artist was on this. Oh, there it is. Roberto De La Torre. Like he's my current favorite Conan artist in the regular series. So it's nice to see him doing this Savage Sword, where you just get to really just soak in his black and white inks. I'm a sucker for that classic art.
Yeah.
So very, very cool stuff. Very happy about that. All right, I've got a few other things in my poll. I want to briefly mention, and then we're going to start talking about some new stuff. G.I. Joe Silent Missions. I'm sorry, as you can see from the cover, this is Silent Missions. They did one last year that was the Silent Missions, which was like a tribute or their take on the classic issue 21 of the original G.I. Joe series, which was famously all silent. There was no dialogue or caption or text, and it was just the art. And so they did that. They did 5 issues of that last year, and this year they're doing it again, but all Cobra characters going on their silent missions. So this one is about fan favorite character Baroness. There's just something about Baroness. Like she's just really, really, really cool. But anyway, I don't want to spoil the visuals, but it's a cool issue. Also, Absolute Superman. Haven't had a chance to read this issue, but I flipped through it. I was going to be really careful not to spoil the character that shows up in this issue, but then I realized that if you just are paying attention to the cover, it's very obvious.
Very obvious.
Like who is in this issue. It's not like it's not even a secret.
Didn't even occur to me until you pointed it out.
Yeah. So, I think I've said this the last couple of issues of Absolute Superman, but I feel like it's finally turning into a Superman book, and I really appreciate that. Even though there are all these other characters constantly showing up, like Hawkman, Absolute Hawkman. I'm sorry, was in the last couple of issues, and this one clearly has Absolute Shazam.
Yeah.
But still, pretty cool to see. We'll see how it shakes out. Like I said, I haven't read it. One final book that's in my regular poll that I always take opportunity to recommend, Kea. This is just fun post-apocalyptic sci-fi fantasy action by Wes Craig. I really like his art. Ooh. Yeah, and it's really colorful. I like the bright colors. Yeah, very very cool stuff. Dragons, robots, animal people, mutant people, human beings. Very cool stuff. Cool comic. All righty. I've been doing a lot of talking for about 13 minutes now. Sam, what's something you got that you want to talk about?
Do you want to talk about Royals?
Yeah, let's talk about Royals.
Royals, new Image book.
I think did you get to read the whole thing?
I did. Yeah.
I also read the whole thing. So this is one issue that we both got a chance to read. Well, what did you think of it, Sam?
I thought it was pretty cool. You have two brothers with telepathic powers. Not a whole lot explained yet as to the origin of said powers, but they got them. And what do they use them for? To cheat at gambling.
Yeah.
Very straightforward concept.
Yep.
You get a sense that there's a little bit of turbulence between the two brothers. At
friction.
Least like one end.
Yeah.
One brother.
One brother is kind of the carefree, devil may care, just kind of flows through life, and the other brother is constantly stressed out, worrying that their life together is going to fall apart, and everything's going to come crashing down. And I really liked that. I really liked this issue. It's written by Derek Kirk Kim, who I have actually read many years ago. He did like an autobiographical comic that was really good.
Oh, that's cool.
That I believe he wrote and drew it. So he's a cartoonist. And art is by Jacob Perez. And I got to say, one of the first things that stood out to me was this is like a really good looking book. I like the art. It's very stylish without looking like other artists on the stand. You know what I mean? Like it's really good looking. I also really like like you had mentioned, the brothers are telepathic. And I love the way that's just laid out in the story right from the beginning.
Very simple.
They're just walking down the street, and they use thought balloons, which we don't see enough of those in comics these days. And so they're communicating, they're having a conversation in thought balloons. And that's like immediately, you're just like, oh, what's going on with this? So they have like some kind of powers. And I think that's what I liked a lot about this book, was that it's like there's kind of this interesting supernatural angle, but it's not presented as like a fantasy world or like a superhero world. It's basically just like the real world, but these two brothers have this like psychic connection, which then leaves it open to like what else are we going to see around the corner?
Are there other telepaths?
Right, exactly. It's really good.
It was like all the elements of like the story going forward were nothing was shoved down your throat. Like it was all just very natural. He has a conversation with the priest while the brother's gambling.
Yeah.
And they introduced that there may be some friction between the brothers, just very subtly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. And I also, there's like you said, there's really good world building. Like you just jump right into the story of them having their conversation as they're walking up to this like, it's a televised poker championship.
Right.
Like it's not like a basement like poker game. Like this is like celebrity poker.
Yeah.
And then you find out that one of the brothers is a celebrity. He's an ex-MMA fighter. And like that was their previous grift, maybe you could say. Like they had dabbled in like, you don't know if they were cheating in MMA or just using it, doing MMA. But it's really good. And again, like not really a action book per se, but like there was a lot of tension in the story between the gambling and kind of the introducing some of the characters. Like this character, clearly that they're like in the gambling, he's like a mafia, a gangster guy. He's a bad hombre, as they say. But
what did they call it? What's his gang?
was it the Oh,
I don't know if we could say it on the stream.
Oh yeah, I don't know if we can say it on the stream. It was like the bloody,
Yeah.
the bloody somethings, the bloody expletives.
Look out for it when you read it.
Yeah. But I highly recommend this. It's again in a week of there were several good new books. This was one of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to the next issue.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Speaking of new stuff, Marvel has several new books coming out tomorrow. There's Captain Marvel Dark Pit. I can't really say much about this. I did not read it. My knowledge of Captain Marvel pretty much ends in the 80s when Rogue stole her powers and almost killed her. And then she became binary and just like went off into space.
Right.
And I know that there's since then like 30 years of continuity where she came back and is Captain Marvel, but that's pretty much the extent. But this is out if for all you Carol Danvers fans. That's what I'm trying to say. Also coming out tomorrow, Wonder Man #1. Wonder Man has like a new Netflix show out, right?
It's it's on Disney Plus.
Oh, sorry. Did I say Netflix?
Yeah.
Sorry. Disney Plus, whatever. They used to be on Netflix.
Yeah.
A new streaming show. So again, this is another one I haven't really had a chance to read, but I like that it's written by Jerry Dugan and art is by Mark Buckingham, and I really like Mark Buckingham's art. He's just got like a classic Marvel style to him. So I might have to check this out. I've never been like the biggest Avengers guy, really, when it comes to Marvel characters. So I know almost nothing about Wonder Man.
Like, I don't know much at all.
But I do like I like this like classic kind of art that we're seeing here. So yeah, it looks cool. That's Hellcat, Patsy Walker. Yeah, nice. All right. So anyway, new Wonder Man issue coming out tomorrow. Also, this is not a new #1 series. This is just a one shot for the 50th anniversary special for the Eternals. This is another one where I really like the original Eternals series by Jack Kirby in the 70s. And then it feels like Marvel has never known what to do with the characters since then.
Yeah.
And it's very clearly because the original story was not intended to be a part of the Marvel universe. It was just supposed to be like a sci-fi story that Jack Kirby wanted to tell.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So then they got to figure out a way to graft on all these like the Eternals and Celestials and all this stuff and find a way to make it work in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's always been a little clunky. This is just a one shot. It's like an anthology. It has at least three different stories in it. But it's good looking art too. This first story, Phil Noto, I think, is doing this first one. He's good. And the second story is actually what really stood out to me because it is illustrated by Michael Cho, I believe. Yeah, and he really just leans into the classic Kirby style art.
Like He-Man almost.
This one does, yeah. I think that's Phil Noto still. Here we go. This is Cho who does I believe I don't know why I'm like doubting myself, but it is it's Michael Cho. He does. You can clearly tell he's been influenced by Jack Kirby. He's done some other Kirby tribute books in the past that we've highlighted, but I really like Michael Cho's art. And this is like, to me, this here just captures the spirit of the original Eternals comics.
Yeah.
So I have, like I said, I haven't read it, but I will probably read it. Because I'm a sucker for anything that's Jack Kirby.
It looks cool. The only Eternals I read, I think, was the Neil Gaiman run that was like right after Civil War.
I read that one too. I don't remember anything about it.
I remember bits and pieces.
I remember it taking too long. I also remember, I do remember this was a thing. I think it was originally supposed to be like 6 issues, and then it turned into 9 issues. And it was a thing where like the first issue says like issue 1 of 6. And then by the time they get to issue 4, it's like issue 4 of 7. And then by the time they get to issue 7, it's like issue 7 of 9 or something like that. It just kept going. Like it just, I don't know. Neil Gaiman's
He's gonna do whatever.
He's gonna do whatever he wants. Yeah. Another new book from Marvel. This one is a new series. Daredevil #1.
Yeah.
I am a pretty big Daredevil fan.
Yeah.
I must say I have a lot. I think I've probably said this on the stream before. I think I have more Daredevil comics than any other single character in my
Dang.
collection,
Okay.
and it is in the sub like
By
the
like a pretty wide margin, or like.
well, if you count the X-Men, no,
Okay.
and also if you don't count comics collections that I've inherited, because I do have a lot of Green Lantern, but those weren't really mine,
Right.
you know. So yeah, single character Daredevil by well, Spider-Man's probably pretty close. Anyway, the point is, there's a new Daredevil comic coming out tomorrow. I have not really followed a lot of the recent Daredevil stuff. It's all been okay, but I feel like nothing has really like
There was Cold Day in
grabbed me.
Hell.
Oh, that was it. That was the
Yeah.
last thing that really grabbed
Mhm.
me, and that's because it wasn't really a part of like continuity. It was
Right.
just like an old man Daredevil story,
Yeah.
and it was great.
It was excellent.
It was probably the best Daredevil thing I've read in 10 years. You know,
Dang.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Anyway, so you read this one, right?
read
We
it.
both read this.
We
All
both
right.
read it.
What did you think?
That was okay.
Yeah. yeah. That was my thought. It's okay. It's Daredevil's got like a huge track record of excellent creators working on it. Honestly, at this point, it's just kind of funny because when Frank Miller did his epic Daredevil run in the 80s where he basically reinvented the character, at that point Daredevil was like a low tier, not many people cared about him, and Frank Miller then reinvented him, and since then it's like you've had so many great runs, Frank Miller and Kevin Smith, who we're going to talk about later in a little bit, and Brian Michael Bendis and Ed Brubaker.
Yeah.
Like there was just this string where it was just like all the top talent was working on Daredevil for a long period of time, and now it's like if you come onto a Daredevil book, it's like you're staring down all these epic runs that you got to live up to.
Oh my god.
It's the complete opposite of how it was
Yeah.
40 years ago, you know. But yeah, I thought this issue was okay. It's a lot of like setup stuff, but nothing that radical,
Right.
or you know.
It again, like we talked a little bit about it earlier, where it's just like this issue seems like it falls victim to just the internal dialogue about, or the internal monologue rather, of
Mhm.
being a superhero, and it's just like we kind of know what that experience is
Yeah.
like. I wanted to know a little bit more about what he thinks about teaching and how that
Right,
applies
yeah.
to who Matt Murdock is today.
Because
and-
that's, by the way, that's like the new setup of this run. It's written by Stephanie Phillips, and it's like Matt Murdock has become a teacher. Like he teaches
Right.
law, at a school, and it's like, okay, I can see that as like again, it's one of those things where it's like as a career path for somebody who's had all these like things happen to him where he like his identity was outed.
Wasn't he a priest?
He was a priest for a while. He was like, I don't know, remember, he was the mayor of New York for a while. He's like got all, like, it doesn't make any sense that all these stories actually happened to him, but they kind of try to work with it, and it's like, okay, he can't really practice law anymore, so he can teach law though, and that's where he's at. So it works fine enough. But they tease on the first page, even they tease like this new villain, and I think that's where the book was probably trying to hook me, and instead it just made me kind of roll my eyes, where I'm like, oh, just a big mystery character whose face is literally in shadow.
Is it gonna be somebody we know?
Yeah. Whatever. I don't know. I don't mean to sound so dismissive, but it's a pretty good looking book.
Yeah.
Like I should say that. Like I've been, one of the things, I'm usually not shy about being hard on Marvel's art, but this artist is Lee Garbett, and it's good looking. I don't want to flip too far. Even then, then they established that there's like a serial killer in New York.
Right.
And it kind of made me feel like it's not a Daredevil story. It felt like a setup for a Batman story, which I know there's some similarities to the two characters, but like Daredevil's, he's a superhero, but he's not like a detective. And they kind of set up like this mystery serial killer, and I don't know. I just felt like
interesting. I didn't get that vibe out of it, but well,
they have the detective going to investigate, and so he's like going to be a supporting character, I'm sure.
Okay.
But I don't know. Maybe that's just me being nitpicky.
Like they spent a lot of time on pages like in his new job, but without really like, why are we here? Like, why are we watching this scene? You know, like
Yeah,
they introduced what's presumably going to be a new love interest for Matt.
presumably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
a love-hate relationship.
yeah, but there's really not much else to get out of that scene other than
Yeah,
that. Like
it's it it it's fine.
it's
You know,
fine.
it's, I will. One thing to make note though is like as is the trend right now, they are releasing a blind bag variant, and I
Yeah.
gotta say, I appreciate. This is the first character where it just feels appropriate to have a blind bag. And I was thinking I wasn't sure I was going to do this, but why
We're
not?
gonna
Let's
open it.
let's open let's open. I guess I'm a
Yeah.
sucker for a blind bag, so let's see what we get. I saw on the back that there's a couple of there's a Daniel Warren Johnson variant.
Okay.
Alex Maleev, he drew a lot of the Brian Michael Bendis run. Dan Panosian, I like him a lot. Joe Quesada, he drew the Kevin Smith run. So they got a lot of like classic characters. I'm probably just going to pull the standard A cover out of here.
Okay.
I'm afeared that that's what's going to happen. But let's
You're gonna
see
get
what
the
happens.
rarest one. And
Wouldn't
then
that
freak out?
Wouldn't that be wild?
Uh-huh.
I don't even know what the rarest one looks like. Let's see here. Okay, so we got that open. All right, let's see. Oh,
Ooh.
teaser. That's the cover's inside the cardboard. All right, there we go. That is the Jackson. Oh, I can't read his name on there. I recognize him from doing a lot of variants for Marvel, but I don't actually know his name off the top of my head. But anyway, yeah. So I don't even know if that's if this is like a ratioed variant or not. But Jackson Z. There you go. For Marvel's television Daredevil Born Again. All right, so that's what I got.
That's
Is that supposed to be Bullseye from the TV show?
I would think so. Like
It
I
just
actually haven't been watching the show.
You haven't been watching the show?
I know.
Oh, no. Sorry. No, I haven't. I'm so far behind on TV, but I don't know. I like to read comic books more than I like to watch TV.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see. Let's talk about some other new stuff that's coming out tomorrow. We still got a big stack here.
Yeah.
We will briefly mention. Actually, it's not too much. Oh, here's something worth talking about. Mad About DC.
That's cool.
This looks really neat. This is just a one shot. It's like a Mad. I mean, I don't have to explain what Mad Magazine is, do I? But what's cool about it is it's a lot of DC artists doing this. So it's not like the Mad Magazine crew. It's like a lot of classic comic book people just kind of doing gag comics and like this Jim Zub and Raymond Perez on this one. Dave Johnson. Let's see. Oh, who was this one? Kagan McLeod. This was what got me. Tony Moore doing a story. I love Tony Moore. But yeah, so this is fun. And it's hefty too. Kyle Stark's doing a little thing here. So there's like a ton of creators. Like they can't even. I mean, there's that's 61 pages. That's not all of the artists, but pretty much there are several different artists doing this. And Chip Zdarsky is the guest editor, which I thought was kind of funny because he's like the guy at Marvel right now, but he was at DC.
Yeah.
But I haven't read the whole thing. I flipped through and read a couple of pages. Looks really good. Looking forward to reading the rest of it.
Nice.
Funny. I appreciate a good comedy,
Yeah.
But yeah, so Mad About DC. There we go. All right. Let's see. There was just a couple of more. I will briefly mention Megalith issue 0. I have been really enjoying most of the stuff coming out of Bad Idea, And so this is an issue 0. It's only $2, and it's really more of like a preview of the next wave of Bad Idea books. So like it's I assume that this opening like 8-page story for Megalith is not going to be reprinted in issue 1 because that's kind of how Bad Idea does their stuff. So it's like 8 pages that's just like an intro to Megalith number, which then the first this is issue 0, so Megalith number 1 comes out like next month. But then there's also a preview of some of their other series, the Hab, which looks really neat. This is written by Joshua Dysart, and I like his art a lot. I like his writing. and art by David Lapham and Bill Sienkiewicz.
Oh,
What a team up! Goodness gracious! And then this also looks really interesting. Tony
Ooh.
Millionaire's Oddballs Odyssey. Tony Millionaire, he's like a alt underground artist. He did Sock Monkey,
Okay.
but doing this really weird thing here. And then we got a new Tankers comic. They did a Tankers series, ooh, five years ago.
What's Tankers? I'm not familiar.
Tankers is military men with mech suits go back in time and fight dinosaurs. That's
Right.
that's it. And
That's
so
all you need to know.
That's all you need to know. And so there's a new Tanker series. This one, the dinosaurs have feathers. The first one did not, but it could just be a different era of dinosaurs. Yeah. But anyway, so this, and it's a cool $2, I think. So yeah, $1.99. Get a nice little preview of some upcoming. Yeah, not bad at all. Alrighty. I think you just got one more comic. I have two more comics. I will. Let's save that.
One, we have the same one.
Yeah, we do. So I briefly will mention April Fool's Day comes out tomorrow. Another of the Marvel one-shots. I forgot to grab the A cover. This is the Jim Rugg cover. I'm a fan of Jim Rugg.
I like that cover.
I like this one too. This is a good one. But I also really like that this is a Deadpool one-shot written by Gail Simone.
Nice.
And Gail Simone, ooh la la. Gail Simone wrote one of my favorite Deadpool runs, like 20 years ago. One of her not one of her first comic, not one of her first comic writing gigs, but probably one of her earlier Marvel gigs was writing Deadpool. And this was another situation where somebody kind of took over a series that wasn't super popular, so she kind of got to do whatever she wanted.
Nice.
And it's really good. It's really funny. So I haven't read this yet, but I am really looking forward to it. I think she, again, it probably comes from like having low oversight and just an irreverent, just getting able to just indulge in whatever silly stuff you want to do.
Allowed to do whatever you want.
Yeah. So yeah, it looks really funny. Looking forward to reading that one. All right, April Fool's Day. There are a lot of different variants for that one. Okay, I think we have. Oh, I just almost forgot. Another number one. This one from Ignition Press. This is Tyler Rake, An Extraction Story. This is, I've not seen the movies Extraction, but there are 2 Extraction movies, and this is a prequel series made by the same creators that made the original comic that the Extraction movies were based off of, but it had a different name. It wasn't called Extraction. I think that was what they did for the movies. So now they're leaning into it, obviously. So this is a prequel, I believe, and it's your. I liked it. It's solid. It is your standard kind of action movie guy, like spy espionage action. I'm thinking of like Mission Impossible and what's the one with Matt Damon?
The Jason Bourne.
Jason Bourne, like a little bit of James Bond, where he's like, I guess I should be careful about which page I turn to. He's kind of like lying low, like under an assumed name. Trying to stay out of the business because he's got a lot of people that are, hunting him down, and stuff happens. And then, a mysterious benefactor shows up and is like, I need you to pull one last job for me. And then, you'll be set up for your life. And it's solid. It's good. Like, it didn't totally wow me. Like, it did kind of have that feeling of like it's like made for a movie, you know what I mean? And as it is a prequel to a movie, that's appropriate. But it looked good. It's nice covers, and solid book.
Nice.
All right. So we got one more book to talk about, but I also want to mention, I forgot to say this earlier, World's Finest number 50 comes out tomorrow. They've been going 50 issues. I stopped following this book regularly, I think around issue 30.
Okay.
But I still I really enjoyed it. Mark Waid and Dan Mora kind of were the 2 main guys. When I stopped following it was when Dan Mora started moving on to do like a million other things.
Yeah.
But it's consistently had good artists. But yeah, this issue, Dan Mora's back, and tons of different variant covers. Looks really cool. I will probably just jump right into this and just read it without having read any of the previous 20 issues, I guess.
It's one of those landmark issues that's probably designed for that.
Exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're
And,
fine.
and I think also, like, one of the things I liked most about this series was that a lot of the issues were kind of one and done stories where you could just
Right.
jump into them and read them. But one thing that I wanted to mention that is really cool is there are two cool variants coming out tomorrow. One for World's Finest and one for the other book we're going to talk about next, Bizarro Year
Yeah.
None. So there is these two cool books, but they both also have variants featuring Weird Al. And
Yay.
so we've got the Weird Al variant for World's Finest and the normal Al variant for the Bizarro book, which I thought was pretty funny and appropriate.
That's good.
I like this cover a lot of,
Yeah.
you know, Bizarro and Bizarro Batman and normal Al with his briefcase that says totally normal things. Pretty good. So for all you Weird Al fans out there, and I know you're out there, there are two Weird Al variants. There we go. Check it. Well, I should say there's one Weird Al and one normal Al.
Yeah, they're very different.
But anyway, okay. Final book we're going to talk about is Bizarro Year None. I don't know if I can properly convey how not just excited, but just like hungry I was
He's your guy,
for this.
right?
I love Bizarro. He's probably my favorite Superman villain.
Okay.
Villain, because he's so weird.
Yeah.
And silly and so like pure Silver Age, you know. But what's also notable about this, written by Kevin Smith, who is a guy, you know, needs no introduction. I think most people know he's a filmmaker, but he has dabbled in writing comics. He wrote Daredevil run that I mentioned earlier. He did a Green Arrow run sometime back. He's written Spider-Man. You know, he's written a lot of characters. And so I was like, okay, Kevin Smith writing Bizarro. I can see that working. And then the artist on this is none other than Nick Pitara, who is one of my favorite. I don't know what I would call him. Not underground, but like he's one of my favorite. Like yet in my personal opinion, yet to be properly appreciated artists.
Okay.
Like he's a guy who's very meticulous about the work that he does. And he's for the last couple of years he's been working on his own creator-owned book called X-Wielder John, which we still have copies of that in the store if you're interested. It's really good. But now I know why book 2 is taking so long, because he's probably been working on this.
Bizarro,
because you know when DC asks you to draw a Bizarro book for Kevin Smith, you put everything else on hold and you do that.
Take the call.
You know, yeah, you take the call. But anyway, so like I said, this book. Everything about this book was poised for it to be probably my favorite book of the year. So therefore, I'm not going to say anything about it. What did you think, Sam?
I loved it. I didn't get a chance to finish it, but I thought it was really good. I thought the art was excellent. I thought the framing of the story with, you know, like we talked a little bit about it, show like focusing on Jimmy.
Jimmy's kind of the main character of it, you know?
And Perry White, was a really smart call. They have a lot of really interesting banter and talk about the newspaper industry and stuff. And yeah, I thought it was a book that really knew its theme really well.
It's a dense read, and you know that shouldn't surprise anybody because you know Kevin Smith is known for being super wordy. Not just like his movies are all just two characters making pop culture references and their banter, just chatting, witty banter. But his comics kind of have that too. But I mean, it is on full display in this. Like you can see, like this page has what, like 11 panels? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 panels, and there's like multiple dialogue bubbles in every one. Very, very dense, but like still engaging. You know, you never like it doesn't ever feel superfluous. Like you know, like some wordy comics feel like you're just like, okay, get to the point. This is like it's engaging. Like I really enjoyed the banter between Perry and Jimmy Olsen. It was really good.
And the other characters that interject whenever they
like, and that is something I did like, was that you got to kind of see like Steve Lombard and Cat, you know, classic Superman characters. There was even something you probably wouldn't have caught this. So like there's two references to Perry White's like classic catchphrase.
Caesar's Ghost.
Great Caesar's Ghost. But the second one, where he says "Great Shades of Elvis," Do you know what that's from?
No.
That's from the '90s Lois and Clark Superman TV series, starring
Oh.
Dean Cain.
Okay.
And they were very like they they didn't want to use the Great Caesar's Ghost because they thought it sounded corny. And I forget the actor's name who played Perry on that show, but he was like legitimately like a huge Elvis fan.
Mm-hmm.
So they were just like, okay, how about he just is like constantly referencing Elvis? So instead of saying Great Caesar's Ghost, he would say Great Elvis's Ghost or Shades of Elvis, you know, stuff like
Jeez.
that. So I thought that I caught that little reference there, Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
I caught that.
Interesting.
But yeah, anyway, continue to talk about how good this is.
Yeah, it was really good. I just caught from the cover, you know, like, because Bizarro's world is a cube.
Yeah, Bizarro
That-
World's big square.
Yeah.
Standing on the edge of the world.
Yeah,
and-
yeah. I don't know. There's imagery like that in the first couple of pages too, where it's just
Yes.
like him on top of a waterfall, and I was like, oh, that just looks good. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
It's so good looking. Like I
Mhm.
said, I like Nick Pitara's art a lot. It's like you can definitely see shades of Frank Quietly in this, like
Mhm.
All Star Superman, but it's sort of like a little. It's not as clean maybe as Quietly, and there's
Yeah.
like a little bit of I feel really bad, I can't remember his name. It's like Frank Quietly but filtered through the guy who does Ice Cream Man and did the Kryptonite
Yeah,
Spectrum.
what is his
I
name?
can't, I'm so embarrassed I can't remember his name, but because I liked his art too, also had like shades of Quietly but not quite,
Yeah.
you know. And so this like Pitara's like in between those two, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, this was good.
Yeah.
This is really
It's very good.
I could continue to talk about how good it is. I don't really want to spoil anything in the story. I guess maybe that is something I will say, is that I really liked it, but as I was reading it, I was like, yeah, is this whole issue just going to be Jimmy Olsen and Perry White talking? And I still really liked it,
Yeah.
you know. And then when it got to the Bizarro stuff,
Mhm.
it got really weird. And then, like you were saying, kind of you were mentioning like the themes of like respect and like the newspaper industry. Like you saw it kind of inverted, and I was like, okay, Bizarro World, you know,
Right.
like it's really good.
It's a really good premise for like a first issue.
And I was like, this might be something that people dislike, but I was surprised at how much I liked it, considering Superman's not really in it.
at all.
Like, yeah, it really is like a Bizarro story, as you and but with Jimmy Olsen as the main character, and it still felt like I appreciate that it's like a fresh version of Bizarro. Like they're
Mhm.
not trying to Kevin Smith's not just doing the Silver Age version of Bizarro.
He kind of reminded me of like Frankenstein's monster a little bit.
Little
like
bit.
Closer to the source material. He's
Yeah.
a little smarter than
Mhm.
he gets
Then-
credit for.
right.
And
But there's scenes where you can see it's kind of slipping.
yeah.
There was a line I really liked about how he couldn't keep his continuity straight, and I appreciated that because I was like, okay, yeah, that's like a comic book
Yeah.
Superman thing for sure. So yeah, definitely probably actually my favorite book of the week.
Yeah.
Just like I said, how could it not be?
It was my favorite of the stuff I read.
Yeah.
And
But-
I didn't even finish it.
But I will, yeah. But I will say, Royals was like a pleasant surprise. I went into that book knowing nothing about it,
Mhm.
and I thought it was great.
Yeah, it
so
was
I
really
was
good.
like, being number 2 to Kevin Smith and Nick Pitara is no insult, you know. All right, I think that was everything we had for this week.
Yeah.
Well, all right, we did it. So, you know, I'm looking forward to next week. Maybe there will be 1 or 2 facsimiles, but fingers crossed, we'll see. But anyway, thanks everybody for watching. We're here at Fantasy Books and Games. Like our
Mhm.
friend Dan says, there's comics out there for everybody.
Happy.
It's not just superheroes. Sometimes it's Bizarro superheroes and card sharks with telepathic powers. And
Daredevil.
and Daredevil, right? Okay, everybody, we'll see y'all next time. Thanks, bye.
Bye.